The show's about to start with lots of stories about Pooh and a Christmas heart. But when it comes to Joanne, no, you won't find no fault. But if you mess with the bull, you might get the shorts. It's time for Mornin. It's Morning with Bill and Joe. It's time for Mornin. It's gonna be a holly jolly show. It's Bill and Joe.
Good morning, and welcome to Morning with Bill and Joe. I'm Joe.
I'm Clark Griswold.
Oh, wow.
This is the good one because it actually goes into the nose. I think that is the one that you gave me. There were two other ones where the actual liquid does not go on to. It's essentially the glued-on Marty Moose nose, but this is the real deal. You got me the quality one.
So for
that's
those
pretty
who are
good.
just listening, Bill is holding up his moose mug, made famous from Christmas Vacation. Is that where it first originated?
Oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
I never did the math until Alfred. He's usually better about this stuff. I was just like, oh, look at those cool moose glasses. He's like, no, it's Marty Moose from Wally World.
Yeah,
throwback
wow.
to that,
It's
yeah.
a whole thing.
It's a big thing.
Are you actually drinking eggnog, or is that coffee with creamer? What do you have?
Joe, it's 10:12 in the morning. Of course I'm not drinking eggnog. I'm drinking Bailey's with coffee.
Oh, smart. Yes, you're sensible in the morning. We have to wait till at least noon before we go to the hard stuff.
Hopefully they'll become a sponsor. Yeah, there we go. For people just listening, I was showing the actual Bailey's bottle.
You know, I don't care for warm alcoholic beverages.
This is cold.
However, Bailey's is the one thing I will have in like a hot coffee.
Yeah, I think that you should give iced coffee a chance. I think I've told you this before, and I'll say it again because it's really interesting. I like to do a full pot of coffee. What I don't drink that's hot, 1-2 glasses, throw it in the fridge. Rest of the week, half a week, iced coffee. It's delightful, even in winter. And it's very good with Bailey's.
Wow, you are resourceful and a hero.
And
that's it.
Use the A word.
The A word?
An alcoholic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, debatable, but yes. For those who are watching, I have a delightful lightscape happening on my face.
I saw you. You know, I've never seen you give sun a side eye. You were doing side eye Joe to the sun before we started. Kind of, just sort of glaring. At the corner of.
Since the time change and with it being winter, like the sun is lower. And so the one window I have in my apartment that offers me sun, it's now like directly in my face. So I have like blinds and curtains, and it's just, I have to figure out a better way. But for now, just enjoy this cool sort of abstract moment.
Well, I don't know if this is a segue for something that you would like to talk about a little later, but it's actually perfect because let me see if I can paint a picture for those that are just listening. We have the sun sparkling down onto Joe's face, giving it a very glittery sort of effect. She's also quite the brunette today, probably more so because it's winter, and she's wearing a green sweater. All of this conjures up a certain cinematic spell that you may or may not have seen.
I saw Wicked.
There you go. I thought I spelled it out pretty good, but
yeah, thank you. First of all, we have to show, and if you are just listening, check out our social medias at Mornin Bill and Joe.
It's a good one.
Because our friend 5Fan Photoshop did an incredible Photoshop job of us as Glinda and Elphaba in Wicked, seen here. And gosh, I didn't think I could enjoy the movie more, except I could if I were in it.
There she is. I have to say that you did a better job. 5Fan mostly did a better job because if I were that green, I would be pretty upset about it. And the trailer seems like Ethel, whatever her name is, she's a relatively happy person. You, however, look really upset that you've got some sort of type of hepatitis and that your pallor is like that. You're not having it in that graphic.
Yeah, it's just I work so hard on my skin. I have a good skincare regime, so to just cover all that up with green paint feels wrong.
You were not having it. You were not having it. Now here's the question: were you having the movie? Hmm?
Well,
Hmm?
this is a little SAG Hag segment. For those who don't know, the
Very appropriate.
the SAG Hag segment was born when 2 years ago I was selected to be a part of the SAG nominating committee, which is SAG members who are selected to watch pretty much all new stuff and say what they like, and then that's what SAG members vote on for the SAG awards. So, I'm a critic, and I am a good one.
This is valid. She's actually licensed, people.
Am I? Where'd it
Well,
go? I lost my license.
don't you get a SAG license or something?
Oh, I'm a union member. Yeah, I got a membership card. I don't know
Sure.
where I threw it.
Nice.
But I went about a week ago. I went on Tuesday of last week, and I was careful about this. I'm also a Joanne here because I went on Tuesday because my movie theater does cheap tickets on Tuesdays, and I did not want to pay full price. I also went
I
at
need to
2
do that.
p.m. on a Tuesday because I didn't want drunk
Kids.
adults singing along, and I didn't want small children being annoying. And I felt like 2 p.m. was a good time.
You
And
are
I was right.
you are on Joanne Ma Fire. Was the theater even? Was there even anyone else there?
There were about maybe 10 people total in my theater, which doesn't bode well for movie theaters, let's be real.
Yeah.
But there was a man behind me, wasn't singing, wasn't annoying, but at one point he was snoring. And
Also, doesn't bode well for the movie
uh,
specifically.
but I don't think that's the movie's fault. This was a really great movie, and it was only about 20 minutes in. So I think he was just tie.
Yeah.
He was by himself, so maybe he just needed to get out of the house and get some sleep.
Oh yeah.
Um, but I got my free popcorn because I'm a rewards member. I got a little can of Prosecco, and I sat, and the first number, Bill, I am tearing up. It was so good right from the get-go. I love this musical. I saw it with the original cast, Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth on Broadway when I was 15 or 16. I've seen the show a few other times since then on Broadway, so I was excited for this. All of my theater friends said it was so good, so I was very excited, and they weren't wrong. It is quite long, but doesn't feel that way.
Mm.
Incredible casting, the choreography, the music, the vocals, the acting, all of it was great. But now I'm going to sound like a Joanne again. What's happening with movies now?
What's the deal?
What's the deal with this photography? Because the images are moving too fast. I can't focus on anything. I don't know if I need a new prescription to my glasses, or if I shouldn't be watching in a large theater. I need to watch on a smaller screen. But it's like the camera keeps panning, like it doesn't stay stationary for that long. There's this beautiful choreography happening, but I don't get to see the full number because, of the quick shots going from this person to this person. And maybe if I had ADHD, I would respond better to that, but I don't.
Huh. I wonder if that's half the reason they do it, because of the zero attention span that most Americans have these days. You're right.
I mean, probably.
It's
You
a lot of
watch
quick
some of
edit.
these, you watch these old films, and you're like, is this slow? And it's not. It's just, the images are longer. There's
Oh
fewer
yeah,
cuts.
longer
I don't know.
scenes, more dialogue. The movie themselves are longer. Now, did I read this wrong, or God help me, is this part one?
This is part one.
Wow.
So in the Broadway show, this is like where intermission would be. They did add some music. They added some more storyline. They say it's from the original book, like the novel,
Got it.
which I haven't read, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited for the second act in a year. That's what's tough. I mean, having to wait that long and like keep interest up.
This does make sense, because I remember when I would dutifully watch my TMZ, they would do on the set stuff in London or wherever they were filming it, And I remember thinking, boy, this is taking a while. I feel like they were doing some stuff with Ariana Grande Latte and Wicked and her on set of Wicked for a year ago. But I mean, if it's two movies, I can see why it might have taken up a large portion of her life. I've gotten too many spoilers. I know that this one guy who looks like the Scarecrow ends up becoming the Scarecrow because somebody said that online or something. But I'm told there's other surprises as well. I might check it out.
Yeah, there's definitely little Easter eggs and clues for what will happen later. And, it's going to be one of those things where once you see the second half, then you're going to want to see the first again. Like, it's very smart the way that they've done it.
Well, let me ask you this. After watching Act 1, are you of the mind, cut some stuff, make it one movie, or this was the way to go?
I do think 2 movies is the way to go. I do think maybe there was a little bit they could have cut out of this first one. They have a whole number. It's very nice that they put Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth in it. They are in the first part.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a secret, but that was another spoiler that I was told that they spoiled.
Which, they had a whole musical number, and it just felt very, haha, look what we did. It felt not just like inside baseball for people who know Broadway, but like annoyingly so. Like, is this necessary?
I hear you.
Also, a little Easter egg: the guard in Oz who says the wizard will see you now is Stephen Schwartz, who wrote the music for this musical. So he got a little cameo.
Boy, they're getting ahead of themselves if they're seeing the wizard at the first one. Was the Idina Menzel and squeaky voice blonde girl, was that an original song? Was that not in the Broadway play?
Yeah, it was not in the Broadway version. So I think they wrote it for the film.
What are they supposed to be playing? Their moms?
No, I don't really know. I think they're just these 2 Ozians. I don't know.
You are a SAG movie reviewer.
Yeah, but yeah, I do recommend. I will likely see it again once it's on whatever streamer.
Well, for sure, you got to make sure you noticed all of the Easter eggs in that thing.
But speaking of a really great show, I went and I saw a beautiful performance on Friday. Some might call it performance art. Others might call it a historical walking tour through Turtle Bay.
Might be more accurate, yeah.
I would call it a great way to spend a Black Friday.
And we had a yellow brick road like Wicked did, but this was just because it was covered in urine.
Sure.
Yeah, not supposed to be yellow, people. Well, you are the sweetest of the sweet, and I don't say that often, for wanting to come on that thing. I never asked or expected you to. I felt terrible that the weather was as we're just not acclimated. Here's the thing, Joe. 2 months from now, we'll be in weather like that in sweatshirts. But I was freezing. Everyone was freezing. And that is not a good walking tour make. But it's just because, we had such a hot October. That was brutal. And it was pretty windy. But
see, I didn't think so. So for those who don't know, Bill leads a walking tour through his neighborhood of Turtle Bay through Bowery Boys. Check out future dates and tours on their website. I looked at the weather. I saw it would be cold, yes. And I wore layers and a hat and gloves and my heavy coat, and I was perfectly fine. So,
and you look like a cute little snowball.
Thank you.
That was very nice of you to come.
You had really great turnout for it being the day after Thanksgiving and pretty cold. There was at least a dozen people.
Yeah, I didn't really get that. I'm assuming people just want to get their steps in. After
honestly, that could be it.
One might have something to do with the other. But I was very concerned and sensitive about that. But everyone seemed to have dressed appropriately, and I skipped out some stuff for the cold reasons. But yes, I'm very happy that you came, and we had some delightful drinks at a very Christmassy bar afterwards. As Christmassy as it really gets in my neighborhood. There's a bunch of old, kind of impatient and angry people. You'd love it.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, of the time of year to go, I actually feel like this is best, even though it is cold,
Mm.
just because Turtle Bay is way more interesting and like to look at during the holiday season because of decorations and things. Otherwise, it's really just a lot of large corporate buildings and then just like tucked in there, the, homes I could never afford.
Right, yeah, lots of 19th century row houses that you'll never be invited into,
Yeah.
even if you live right next to them. Well, again, thank you so much. What were your critiques? Was there any fun facts that you enjoyed? Lay it on me.
You know, I definitely learned a lot. I like to think I know a good amount about New York fun facts
You
and
do.
celebrity and all of that. I do think my favorite part was, and I don't want to give anything away for all of
That's okay.
those who are now clamoring to go on your tour, but we stopped near a certain steakhouse where there were certain mob ties.
Oh boy.
And I always find that kind of stuff very interesting.
I
So
That was mostly for you.
thank you.
And that you had the it's something that I've always wanted to incorporate because whenever I see Joanne Maz or I got to come up with a grandpa name for me, those type of people helming tours, they always do the binder with the pictures thing. And this
Yeah.
was my first tour where I did that. And that particular scene, I have pictures of the actual mob hit, the death near the Sparks Steakhouse sign, all of that. And so you can really get in there and see the bloody demise of a certain mob boss.
But what is so interesting, some steakhouses will have cuts of meat hanging in the windows to show how they're aged, just the Zagat like reviews or the stars or whatever. This is, I mean, you wouldn't know it was a steakhouse unless, you know, the signage is really what tells you, but like there is just articles and papers
Yes.
and things that are just framed too,
Yeah.
like showing the history of this place.
Yeah, they really they for a while did not want anyone to mention anything John Gotti with regards to their wonderfully well aged steaks and sirloins. But after a while, they sort of backed into it and sort of embraced it. I think as enough time had passed, so they really own it now. But also, if we're it was a Spark Steakhouse and it was opened in 1966, but just a beautiful bar. If you're in the neighborhood and you just want to go and have a drink, maybe peruse the menu for next time you're there and hungry. I recommend that place over Smith and Wolanski, which is also on the tour.
There is something really nice about old bars and places like that.
Oh yeah,
They don't make them like that anymore. The wood, the detail, it's really nice.
yes. I'm glad that you like that because it's just about my favorite thing.
Um, I
Ladies
think
and
my
people
only
are proud.
critique, Bill, and it's a critique I've given you before. Stop with the what do you call it?
Talking,
Yes.
existing.
When you talk down on yourself,
I didn't
the
think I did.
self-deprecation.
I don't think did I do that.
Yes, multiple times. I've been talking too long already. Oh, I know you want to get. Oh, my voice. Blah blah blah. I
It's
mean,
annoying.
literally, people paid to hear you talk,
Mm,
so don't apologize for it.
you're right. You're right. That's a good criticism. I'm sure you have more, but you're being very nice.
Yeah.
I well, I always do the trick too because there's like just a lot that I always am worried I'm going to forget. Not that people would notice, but I definitely do that thing that they teach people in public speaking to do, where I don't necessarily look at the people. I kind of look over their head. But since you were there, the only thing that was kind of calming me down was trying to find you. And if I was forgetting a fun fact, I'm like, I'll just find Joe and make fun of her while I'm still trying to process whatever's happening.
Happy I can help.
Yes, I do wonder at the end of it if some people still wondered if whether or not we knew each other, or if I'm just making fun of this poor, slight little girl who decided to do the tour on her own.
At the start of it, Bill says, and there's these two women, I would say in their early 60s. He goes, "Oh, I maybe know this one. Yeah, if she says something you don't like, just hit her." And these
I forgot I said
women
that.
look at me like, what?
I'm not going to get a
We
good
don't
Yelp
know if we
review
like
from
this
them.
guy.
Yeah, yeah. I think I accused you of having mob ties as well.
Yeah.
Which, anyone can get if they pay a certain amount. I'm more than happy to go after them as well. But you certainly calmed me down and just provided more material, frankly. But it
Fair.
was really nice of you. Thank you for making the trek.
Yeah, like you said, I wanted to get some steps in after Thanksgiving, so I
Sure.
thought this was a good way to do it.
Oh, and she also did a great job of encouraging tips, everybody, by
Yes.
very much being upfront of all of the people. And despite all the abuse, coming up and slipping me, a little extra something for the effort, which was very sweet.
Well, and I knew typically Bill would say, "No, no, no. Don't give me this money." But I
I,
was like whispered in his ear, "Just take it. Just take it." So that other people would see, oh, because truly it just takes one
it does.
person to influence a group. For
That
example,
was brilliant.
you're out to dinner. This is something I learned working in restaurants. You're offering dessert or coffee. All you need is one person to say, yeah, I'll have a cappuccino, or yeah, I'll take a slice of cheesecake. And suddenly everyone wants something. So it just
That's
takes one
great.
to influence the group.
And pad the bill from your end, which is
Well,
good.
yes.
Yeah. No, you're right. It was brilliant. And it worked out to my benefit. I was very happy. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Anything? What? Oh yeah, how was your Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was good. I spent it with my sister and her in-laws.
Very
I also
cute.
saw my parents. They came to my sister's house. But really, I spent a lot of time with my nephew, who is 13 months,
She's getting infected, people.
which,
Getting
if you're
infected
not
with the
good
baby bug.
at math like I am, 13 months is 1 year, 1 month.
I could do that.
And he just started walking. So he's a lot of work. They have multiple doorways and they have stairs in their home. So you are just constantly trying to make sure this baby does not kill himself. It's incredible. He has a million toys and all he wants is to play with the wine bottles. He wants to put his hands in the dirt of the house plants. He wants to, go after the glass and the electric cords and
Yep.
all of that.
Yes.
So my sister said multiple times throughout the holiday, this is birth control for you, isn't it, Joanne? I was like, sure is. Sure.
I don't know.
is.
When I was talking with you, it seemed to me like there was another side of you that's like, but they are kind of cute. I
They
think
are
that there was
cute, but the other thing I said is unless you have a village of people around you to help you raise it, or you have a shit ton of money
Yeah.
to buy help. God, what is wrong with me?
You're being you.
To hire help, then that I don't know how people do it. It's literally it consumes your life. How was your Thanksgiving?
Good. It's a little of that. Michael's a little younger than your nephew, but he's a Schultz, which means he's like inarguably a moron. And I wish that he would go for the plants. He's just a really quick little crawler and very squirrely. Like every time you hold him, he's just like it's all that. But he goes straight for the plugs. They aren't even interesting looking. You can't even fit your tiny little finger, maybe he could, into them. But that's what they're freaking out about. He just goes straight for the plugs. I don't know what in a baby makes them think that anything fun is going to come from this innocuous little hole in the wall.
Yeah, I do not know. My sister said that for Christmas this year, she's just going to wrap up things they already have in the house.
Smart. Why not?
And give it to the baby, because why?
Completely.
Why buy more?
He's not going to know. Well, Jonathan... Actually, I think I told Henry Teddy this weekend. When they were both much younger, every once in a while they'd be like, yeah, Mom, where's this particular Transformer? Or, this stuffed animal. They'd be like, well, I don't know. But like after they would kind of stop playing with them for a little bit, they would just quietly give them to the Salvation Army and never tell the kids. And so they'd always have a certain amount of toys. But there were a couple ones that they just couldn't find. I was like, yeah, they would just, and they didn't know even at teens. I told them, I'm like, yeah, they just gave them to the poor and you guys were never the wiser. And they said that they went to some sort of like daycare center or something where they had like older gifted toys. And they're like, how come so much of what's here looks exactly like some of our old toys? And it was them.
Wow. Yeah, that's really smart though,
Yeah.
right? You don't want to just collect.
They got so much stuff already,
Yeah.
and it's just the house is just one giant toy chest.
Well, speaking of purchasing things,
Okay.
Black Friday.
Oh, sure. That's your favorite holiday right there.
Well, yes. This is a millennial.
Oh,
Insert
yeah.
graphic. It's me with a ton of shopping bags trying to revive malls as a millennial.
Great hair in that one, Myra, if I recall.
Thank you. Um, okay, so Black Friday spending. Apparently not what it used to be. Spending in US retail stores muted compared to online purchases. Bargain hungry Americans skipped stores in favor of their phones and laptops,
Makes
according to
sense.
data from MasterCard and other data providers. This article is from the New York Post, my favorite post. Sales at brick and mortar stores grew just 0.7% year over year, according to preliminary estimates. Yet U.S. e-commerce sales increased by a hefty 14.6% online. And this isn't just an inflation issue. If you layer in inflation, in-store spending is even lower,
Well, that makes
which
total sense.
Bill, it makes sense to me. I mean, I hate that this is what it is because I love a mall.
Yes.
I love the atmosphere. I love the smell of an Annie Ann's pretzel. I love getting a little drunk at lunch and then shopping and regretting it. Like there are certain things that online shopping just does not provide you like a mall does. I like to touch things. I like to see things and purchase them in person. However, especially when you're looking at deals, shopping and comparing online is really the best option. You can side by side go from Amazon to Walmart and just see which is better than if you were to just go to a store. I don't know. I didn't spend any money this Black Friday because I'm poor, but I wish I could. And if I did, I would have gone to a
But
mall.
isn't this the day to do it if you're poor, or was?
Yeah, this is a Monday, Cyber Monday,
Oh well,
right?
but that's well, I just meant that if you were going to spend any money on the holidays, Friday would have been the day to do it, especially if you're poor.
Well, that's the other thing. There have been people, and by people, I mean, I saw this one TikTok where a woman showed I think it called an Ember water bottle. It's special. She bought it at Target November 23rd for $80. It was on sale at Target November 24th through the 30th for like $120.
What?
Retail price 140. So like it went up in price, was reduced, but even the reduced price on Black Friday was higher than what she had purchased it for a few days earlier.
With the World Wide Web being as gotcha as it is, how do people think they can get away with this? The
Well,
balls on Target.
and that's the thing. Apparently, in some countries, they have to show the price of the product over the past 30 days so that the
Brilliant.
consumer knows. So there isn't that sort of,
Wow.
price, whatever you call it. Um, yeah.
There's a lot of people think that Ralph Nader cost Al Gore the election, and I would never vote for him for president. But I miss Ralph Nader because I believe that if were he still alive today and doing his Consumer Reports thing, that maybe America might have something as simple and as great for consumers as a price thing that goes that's brilliant. I
Yeah.
can't believe I've never thought of that. It's so simple. I only think of simple things, but that's so little to ask. It's almost as it really is almost like a sell by date on milk. You almost should have it by law,
Yeah.
really. But then again, you're a small business owner. You're trying to make ends meet. You like overcharge for the experience.
I mean, Target is not a small business owner. There are now these corporations where you're like, but for why? You literally just want to screw over your consumer. But again, you got to be smart when you're shopping. Do the research so that you aren't sort of taken in this way. Also, God, this is so unlike me. Don't buy things you don't need.
Oh God, yeah. That's why you should be having a little bit of booze before you do your shopping. Then, oh, that reminds me. For those of you not in the know, it's basically a very corrupt thing called Pepcom. Don't ask me why they call it that. Where they basically give editors of various or hosts of various or influencers and stuff like that heads up on what's going on, what they're hustling for the holiday, and through it you can get some very corrupt free things. I recall the last time I dragged your little butto on, they didn't have that many great things, but you are more than welcome to join me this year in case it turns out it's better. It's up to you. I got to look at the date, but there could be free stuff,
Yeah, but now I still get emails from these people.
Yes,
for things I will never purchase or review, like a pool cleaner and a $3,000 air purifying system. Great ideas, but
so you never know.
Well, yeah, fair. You know what? You're right. Why am I selling myself short? I'm going to be a millionaire in just a few short months.
Oh, I don't think you will be at all. I'm saying gifts for your rich friends.
Oh, well, okay.
Yes. I thought that the pool cleaner would be nice for Lauren, but they never sent me a test model, which I was very upset about, and they said they would. It was like a pool cleaning robot. The future is wow.
Yeah.
I think I had a little eyes on it.
Also, those sorts of events make me realize like what I would be like as a mom.
Oh, I thought you meant as a representative at Pepcom.
No, as a mom, because here's why. I have, one cocktail, then one glass of wine. Suddenly, I am so interested in your little product.
Yes.
Tell me more. And I'm just like complimenting everyone. And I'm like, good job. This is great. I'll definitely take a business card. And I'm suddenly like wanting to make sure everyone feels so supported and validated.
Yes.
Even though I am the wrong person to be talking to.
How does that relate with you being a mom? You're just going to be encouraging the little runt more if you've got some Prosecco in you?
Yeah, it's like, sure, let me see that Lego tower you just built. Okay, wow, I see the drawbridge to your castle. Nice, okay.
I get it, though. I think it would require booze to even deal slightly with the many Lego things they make. Let's face it, all just look like towers. It's just stacked Lego blocks. I guess they come with instructions now, but that's all I could ever build.
Yeah, same. All right. Well, I think that's going to be it for today's show. Unless you have anything else.
No, I'm happy Cyber Monday, although it sounds to me like Black Friday has now become Cyber Fridays as well.
Yeah, it's now just a countdown to Christmas because this is the shortest holiday season.
Yeah.
With only, 5 weeks in between? Less than?
We lost like 5 days or something, they said, as far as that's concerned. Which means that if there are sales to be had, they will last longer, they said, just to get them.
Right?
Stuff out.
They want people to buy as much as possible. So I think those sales will stick around. I'm trying to think of what to get everyone this year. It might just be more signed headshots. We'll see.
More.
Well, yeah, my headshots change like every other year.
Yeah. Okay, I know what I'm getting. All right, well, that sounds good. Kind of, not really. But we will see everyone next week.
Oh, wait, a quick More You Joe. Just a reminder, you can become a member of our YouTube channel. We love your support as always. You can also listen to us on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts, and follow us on social media at Mornin, Bill, and Joe. That's it.
Thank you.
Bye.
Ooh, frog in the throat.
I'm sure glad that's over.
That's all for this episode of Mornin with Bill and Joanne.
I wasn't even listening. I was listening to podcasts.
Shut up, Bill.
Subscribe to the show on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you get podcasts.
Yeah, I wasn't listening either.
Very nice, Joanne. Touché.
For videos of this and other episodes, go to @Mornin, Bill and Joe on YouTube.
Bill, put the sword down.
Run, Joanne, run!
Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We would do it for you. Okay, that's a lie.
I never liked your show.
Sorry, wasn't listening. See ya.